Hi guys, this is the time of witchy hour, and this is usually a time, if I don't have it in my inbox now, here on Wiccagem's channel, I will get it very soon. This is the time when people start getting in touch with Hecate, and I want to bring off a little information. I want to bring you guys a little information about Hecate and how I kind of have her incorporate in my life. And I'm reading off my book, my public book of shadows, which is amazing. I print this off ages ago, so I really give credit on where I got it from. I know I said it on my Wiccagem's diary channel. I know I read off a little bit on there, and I don't know if the video is still up or not because it's ages ago. But I remember this. I remember I printed this offline. I know that. Just recently, I just discovered it. I'm like, I know I print this offline. Anyways. This is describing Hecate, the triple goddess. I want to talk a little bit, before I jump on this, I want to talk a little bit of how I make her a very all-around universal goddess to me. Kind of like Isis to certain people, who follows behind her. With Hecate, I treat her as a triple aspect, as most of you practice. I treat her in 3 different forms. What she shows to me is how I use her and how I work with her. We all know, and some of us may not know, that Hecate was once a maiden at one point of her life, a young daughter, a beautiful, maiden girl who's fresh off the market and very frivolous and crazy. And I said fresh off the market, like, here you go. Like she's from a farm. But anyways, I use her maiden form whenever I want to incorporate joy, love, self-love, new projects, ideas, anything that deals with a maiden, such a newborn, such a beginning of life, and worldly things and craziness. Sometimes I switch her to the mother mode when I need to get serious and I need to get my life in gear and tracked. And I want to get into motion where I'm setting like a career in my spiritual path where I become one with life, and that I'm going to make a living out of this, and I'm going to work with this, and I'm going to this is what I'm going to be with forever. Also, I want to be stern and loving and careful and caring and carefully plan my ideals, and not so much as a crazy young maiden. And I'm not saying like I incorporate her inside me. I pretty much envision her in front of me, inspired me to become this. But most people practice Hecate in her Krona aspect. That's her main aspect. That's what everyone associates with Hecate with her, is some old hag, something hideous and grotesque, whatever. But of course the Krona aspect is just like the moon, where she, removes things out of her life, has no patience, no tolerance, very swift, very justice, very righteous, but also compassionate and sweet with her years, and happy to give you her experience through life, and happy to explain certain things to you that's really what you need to know. Kind of like how you visit the wise man or the medicine woman of in Native American tradition, or how you visit like an oracle or something, how you visit someone who's been ancient and who's been around for a while. So, anyways, I want to jump back to what I was really originally want to make this video for, and I thought I'd give you that little triple aspect as a little, Did you know that Hecate and dragons are really one? Information on dragons of Hecate is hard to come by. The only things that have been found is related to Hecate's threefold nature. The 3 crossroads represents the gated realms of the dragon. In Hecate's old title, Perpelia, I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. She who stands before the gate. Hecate's hounds, the 3-headed dog, Cerberus, who guards the gate of the underworld, and the dragons seem to relate to some remote mythos that may come out of Egypt and Asian Minor, where the dog is depicted as a dragon. As one of the original titans, Hecate is an ancient who has undergone many transformations over the ages, and her relationships with dragons is one of the oldest associations. And this is amazing because this is what got me into dragoncraft. I call it dragoncraft. Some people may call it dragon magic. Some people call it dragon power or whatever. I forgot that dragon age, or I call it dragoncraft. This is how it got me into that. When I use certain dragons to help me and repel such negative energies and to bring the good things to me. I thought this was amazing when I thought Hecate and dragons. Oh yeah, that'd be amazing together. Oh, there happen to be little theories about it. Bam. Of course, we know about the Greek cross. That it kind of shows the. It's kind of like the symbol of the Ankh that represents the male and female aspect, but it became like a plus sign, like a one-on-one like this. And that shows the balance and equality in life for Hecate. It also represents kind of like the crossroads. If you can find that one that has kind of a triple aspect, which I saw on some websites, that was kind of related to Hecate, where they had like a triple cross or triple X. I forgot how I saw it, like the way how they had it, because it kind of was laid down very cheaply, very poorly photographed. Those are amazing. I don't know if they're called Greek cross. I think they were just called triple crosses. Of course, we all know crossroads is really associated with Hecate. We all know this. If you could find anything from a crossroads, little special stones, a railroad spike is a really great connection for Hecate. Some people may think that's a little too drastic to find, but if you find an old railroad stake that has not been used, you can buy this, or you can find it in antique shops. If you get those are very sacred to Hecate. Because they're used as railroad tracks in such a dramatic time, especially if you find it in a triple railroad track, you would be lucky. I also have, of course, the ornament. We all know that can be associated with her, because if you get a lodestone cut in the shape of a heart and engrave the image of Hecate, which is called the ornament of the undertaking. It's very sacred to her, and if you manage to have money to grave that into a stone, you can wear it around a necklace and have that represent as her. Do you know baskets is a really huge thing with her? Basket weaving is a kind of a female craft. It is very sacred because the way how it weaves and the way how life is, and that's how she incorporates life. If you can make little mini baskets that's kind of sacred to Hecate, you be in luck. Of course, gates, we all know that gates are very sacred to her because the fact that she guards the underground world and that she has the power to go in and out of kind of Hades. And there's a little story behind that with Persephone, how she has the power to help Demeter go down and find her daughter, and have these little teleport little sections and little holes that she can get in. I think that's how far I'm going to touch it, because some people may go against me on this. Did you know that fairies is incorporated? And that's why I'm undergoing fairy magic. Yes, fairies. The fairy tale image of a fairy as a tiny female sprite with butterfly wings and antennas seems to be drawn to the classic Greek Psyche, which means the soul and also butterfly. Like elves, the fairies were originally the souls of pagan dead, in particular the monarchy spirits who lived in the pre-Christian realms of the goddess. Sometimes the fairies were called goddess themselves. In several folk ballads, the fairy queen is addressed as Queen of Heaven. Welsh fairies is also known as the Mothers, or the Mother's Blessings. The Bretons peasants call them fairies of godmothers, or good ladies, or fates, which comes from the word fay, le fille, kind of like fairy, from the Latin fanta. They claim that Medusa, or Circe, a fairy, could transform a man into an animal and turn him to stone. Most medieval sorcery reveals, however, the fairies were perceived as real women of ordinary size with supernatural knowledge and powers. Their queen was the goddess, such as Titian, which is Gaia, ancient mother of the Titans, Diana, Venus, Sibyl, Abenia, which is abundance, and Hecate. And I thought this is amazing information. Hounds, of course, or triple hounds, anything black hounds, black dogs, are really associated with her. Frogs. Some of you may not know this. Frogs were sacred to Egyptians' midwife of the gods, the crone goddess Hecate, which is the prototype of the goddess, the Greek version, Hecate, or Hecate, or Hecate. Hecate, sorry. And that's for you, Angelo. The frog probably represents the human fetus, which is roughly resembles, because of the little frogs appearing in the first signs of the annual Nile flood, were heralds of life-giving fertility in the goddess, or fertility in Egypt. Sorry. People place frog elements on mummies to help them find rebirth. Mother Hecate, element of the frogs, bore the words, "I am resurrection." Henna, which is really sacred in Egyptians, not really too sacred, but I would say sacred because of the printing on there, is considered to be the magic blood, the life-birthing blood, which relates to Hecate, the whole triple aspect, the whole femalehood. Wolfbane, which is, of course, is really connected to Cerberus, the three-headed dog, but watch out for that. This stuff can be somewhat poisonous. Not somewhat poisonous. It is poisonous. I haven't worked with it. I refuse to work with it and don't care for it. I'm just not really a big fan of it. But do your research before you start practicing with such herbs. Willow. And this is what inspired me to get a willow wand. And as you see, my wand. This is 10 years old. And this wood is like awesome. It's pretty stern. Willow wands are used for divination and casting circles. The Greek version form of Hecate was Helice, which means willow. Helice guarded Mount Helicon, the home of the muse. Her willow wand was a cosmic symbol connected to the stars. The pole and encircling constellation of Uranus Majors was sometimes known as Helice, I think I'm pronouncing her name, Helice Exel. And this was from the Women's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects by B. Walker. So this is just a little information of Hecate, just little things I can throw at you. There's more information I have in my book that I can give to you. But till then, guys, thank you for watching this long video, and thank you for just listening. Till then, guys, let's be.